In Birmingham, Alabama, art meets adrenaline. This is Barber Motorsports Park, a place where imagination watches from the trees, and the stage is set for something unforgettable. The Trans Am Series arrives here for the first time ever. to tame a circuit that's as beautiful as it is brutal, perfectly manicured and fiercely technical, where bronze ants and chrome monsters share the stage with fire-breathing race cars. Every corner is a canvas, every lap a brushstroke of speed, and with only 2 races left in the season, there's no time left to play it safe. Today's lineup of TA, TA2, formula cars, and old-school dream machines will carve up the Alabama countryside, and we're here to deliver every twist and turn they take. Live from Birmingham, this is the Trans Am Racing Series presented by Pirelli. The vision was to build a beautiful park with a very fast road winding through it. Mission accomplished. Barber Motorsports Park is a 17-mile, 2.3-mile stunner. The coolest, most challenging, fast, technical art museum you've ever been to. Hi, everybody. Ralph Sheheen, alongside the president of the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, Andy Lally. Andy, we got buffalo, we got Bigfoot, we got dragonflies, cows, all kinds of stuff around this place, and an incredibly challenging circuit.
This is going to prove something different that these drivers haven't faced all year long. We don't have a lot of straightaways here. This track is essentially sorted out for motorcycle racing, but it's a blast to drive around with a race car. Gonna be a handful for these TA cars, especially the TA2 cars. It's kind of just the right mix for TA2, but these TA cars with all this horsepower, this is gonna be tricky. You got a lot of downhill entries with gravel traps on the exit, hoping to stay out of those today, and take all that and make it a little bit damp. And we got a tricky day ahead of us. Slide too far off track, and you get right into Charlotte's Web here, and it could be a really rough day. See, he's had a tough time here as well, getting around this circuit. You talk about how challenging this place is for cars in general, and then, we're going to throw 900 horsepower at you. These Trans Am cars, as nimble as they are, as powerful as they are, man, this is going to be a busy, busy day behind the wheel for these drivers. It is. This is tough. This is a tough place to pass. So especially now, we've got a bunch of different classes on track here. When it comes to the lapping situation for the Trans Am cars, this is not a Road America where you can just back up the last corner and you've got a half a mile long straightaway to turn one and you complete that pass easy. You've got to get the run out. You've got to be right on their bumper, and you've got just short little tiny straightaways in between these fast sweepers to get that position done here. So I think we have potential, and we've seen this in the past with everything that's ever raced here before, is this tends to test the frustration and the patience levels of the drivers here that need to make a move right now or feel like they got to get by, and sometimes, very often, that results in a good fight. Let's just call it that. Drivers always have to have their elbows up, right, to be aggressive. But, boy, today you're really going to have to be ready to pounce, but it better be a clean pass or it could be a real problem if it's not. Well, with all the action down in the paddock areas, the drivers are getting ready to crawl in their machines and come out onto the racetrack is where you'll find the third member of our crew. That would be Ben Sissel. Hey, Ben.
Well, Ralph, thank you so much. And just 10 seconds ago, the plot totally changed down here because it is now actively raining. I'm with this team here with the Good Boy Bob Coffee Roasters. As soon as that happened, they start cheering because Eric Joyner, very fast in the wet. You can see he's got the wet tires on. And the reason I started back here, because he's a very fast driver, been with the Trans Am Series a while, but he's having to start from the back because he didn't go to driver's meeting. So he's starting from the back, will be really fast, but now with the rain coming down like it is. Oh, Eric, come here. Because your team, I was over here, just started raining a little bit. They started cheering because they know that you're good in the wet and you've got a car for it.
Yes, so we're feeling pretty good right now. I mean, it's still, if you look at the weather, it could clear up and it'll dry out really fast, and then we'd be in a situation where we'd have to come in and do a pit stop when maybe no one else would. But
be good out there.
It'll be a great race to watch.
Yeah, and so happy to be here at Barber. Have you been here before?
I have not. I spent time on a simulator, but it's one of the reasons I wanted to come here.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, be good out there. So, Good Boy Bob Coffee Roasters, they've been supplying coffee to everybody. And then I have to mention his production company, Tool. They make some of the coolest videos and commercials out there. Then we've got G-Luck. Where is G-Luck? But Brian Gluck out here. We saw him with us at Atlanta a few times, so he's very excited to be out here. New car. They're still developing this car. Dave is coming through, but see, look at this. So we've got slicks. Looks like we've got slicks on both the Mercedes as the Corvette is changing, the Kiss My Grass Racing. And you can see it got frantic here just a little bit ago, didn't it? It got frantic. You tell the team, hey, let's go on wets. What's your strategy?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call right now. I think realistically there's going to be some yellows today. So, we might have an opportunity to come back, but it's just coming down harder and harder. Yeah, I mean, this Kiss My Grass Corvette has been awesome. These guys are great. We have traction control and ABS, so a lot of the other cars don't. So we're going to take a gamble. We'll see where we can get with it.
Nice. Well, good luck out there. The Kiss My Grass Racing. We're going to come up here through the TA series. So one thing to note, Milton Grant, it is his birthday today. Bob Ruman, they're trying to figure out their strategies. You can see everybody kind of going through here, but Milton Grant getting buckled in. He's on slicks. His son, Kerry Grant, also on slicks. Pinteric. It looks like David Pinteric might have made the right call going out there on wets. But you can see it's getting frantic down here. Sorry, Damon. They're trying to hook up an air hose to lift up the car. Looks like they're going to change. They're going to change here. They still have time to change tires per the rules until we put up, I think, the 5-minute board. You can see Paul Menard, team change quickly onto some slicks. So everything is going pretty crazy down here. Dyson. So Dyson is going to be starting P1. And you can see, I'm sorry, he's on slicks. I keep saying slicks and wets. Dyson is on slicks. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Menard starting P2 is on wets. So the front row of this race at the start is going to be a little bit crazy. And you can hear Damon over here putting on the tires for Adam Andretti. And then now it's changed. The conditions have changed again. So it's just like, it's like the South in the summer. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. So you can see what they're going to do. This is going to be one of those races that if the drivers have to come in, they want to come in under double yellow. If the line dries out, the people on the slicks are going to have the advantage. But if it stays like this, Chris Dyson's going to be in some trouble out there. And let's talk about this strategy. What do you guys know that we don't know with the tires and the weather?
Well, we were going to change terrains here, but I think it's a little late to do that.
So you're hoping that quickly you guys go out there. So he might be slow here at first, but after maybe 5 laps and there's a dry line, you might have the strategy.
We will.
We've seen it at Mid-Ohio before.
Yeah, it should work out, yeah.
Nice. See, I love this. This is the thing that just kind of keeps people like him up at night. Like, what do we do if? What do we do if? All these different scenarios. Now, I'd be remiss if I don't mention the Howe car in the HR6 out here. We saw this at Mid-Ohio. Adrian Lostowski now, who qualified very well in Cube 3 TA2 Architecture Series, is going to be racing this for Howe. They're still developing this car, and why not put an engineer behind the driver's seat? So very smart. I'm seeing Misty Richter is telling me I've got about 1 minute for our invocation. So let me go through real quickly and see who else is on. So Damon, they've got the wets on Adam's car. Damon, you feel good about your strategy going out on wets?
We'll see. We'll see. You never know what happens.
No. And we've seen it so many times, right?
Our biggest competitor right now is on rain, so at least we're on the same shoes, you know?
Nice, yeah. Yeah, so Tommy Dreesy on slicks. So we're going to come over. Oh. Wait a minute. I'm not sure if we're doing an invocation, so let's come over here. Let's find Marvin. Marvin to deliver our invocation. Marvin Gray. Joey Jones, are you doing invocation?
I don't have an invocation.
Okay, so we're going to come over here to Garage Living. Unbelievable. Conway is out here with us. We've seen the Stack Auto lifts out with IGT. But Conway, to deliver the most famous words in motorsports with all these air jacks and everything going on in the background, he is going to deliver the most famous words in motorsports. Conway, take it away.
Racers, start your engines.
Nobody did. Because they're all worried about tires.
Andy, you can hear it in the crew chiefs. We're 100% convinced we have no idea what we're doing right now.
And up here in the coming out of the track, I I can still see the remnants of the dry line that we just formed, which was just one lane wide. And it's getting a little bit glossy, and that's the sign that we're getting wet. So this is the toughest call in auto racing. Slicks are dry on a drying track. Like you pointed out, every minute or so that sun peeks through and then it gets real dark again. So really tough call here.
Yeah, it's about to do that again. I literally see a little patch of blue, but I mean very, very like pinhole sized patch of blue, and it's going to pass right in front of the sun here as the clouds are moving by, and then there's more dark clouds behind that. So it's going to be a wild one here, Barber. You're not going to want to miss it. We're glad to have you with us here on Speed Sport 1, watching it all live from Barber. Stay with us. We're coming back for what should be a wild and wet start.
Good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
We turn 140-mile-an-hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
You have more important things to worry about than your underwear.
In racing, every second counts. Communication isn't just important, it's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, Speedcom Communications was born from a passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. Trusted by competitors across the world.
Back here at Barber Motorsports Park, live on Speed Sport 1, there's a good look at the main tower. Pit lane just below. Cars are out on the track. That is the Barber Vintage Museum right there. You can see how low those clouds are, Andy. With all the forest around here, boy, those clouds are just hanging in the trees, aren't they?
Low clouds, but then spots of sunshine over there. That's what the people, that's what the drivers on slicks want to see. They want that wind to pick up. They want these clouds to move out. And the guys on wets, they want it to stay wet.
So 2.3 miles. Let's show you the racetrack here at Barber Motorsports Park, and a absolutely gorgeous setting.
Very cool track here, lots of elevation, wide enough to get some good racing in. Short straightaways, big sweeping corners. Turn 1 is a downhill entry, an increasingly downhill apex into a compression and a big long sweeping 2, 3, 4 flat out. Turn 4 down into a downhill, braking again for 5, 6, and 7. Our next gen corner here, this is probably where some of the best passes are going to be set up. Down into 8, 9, another downhill entry roller coaster into a fast set of S's. Mission turn 11 here is going to be our fastest apex of the entire weekend. As we roll down into another set of S's, little break here coming down, lots of curb, big compression. Up and over for another long continuous right-hander that we're calling 14, 15, 16, and a quick 90-degree left in turn 17 to finish up this 2.38-mile track.
And coming out of 17 and coming out of 6 can be two of the most challenging areas because we see cars all weekend long going very wide. They're getting out into the grass, and on a day like today, you get off into that grass, you're going for a ride.
This racetrack is slippery. Everything offline is way more slippery, and everything that's green is an absolute slip and slide here. So you can see those painted surfaces on the exit that are normally very grippy in the dry. Guys are going to have to watch out for putting the power down on that. You can see also, look for the shiny stuff. That's the real slick stuff. You look at the racing line, and that's got like a matte finish. That's where all these drivers are going to want to be, whether they're on slicks or rains. As this track gets, they're looking for the driest portion, the highest amount of grip, and that's the big telltale around any racetrack. You see it shiny, that means there's a little more water on the surface. We haven't knocked away. You don't see the dips and peaks of the aggregate of the asphalt. So that's where you want to have your tire until those wet tires are getting too hot from being too dry, and then you'll see the drivers kind of come inside down the front straightaway and any straightaway that they can get a little bit offline to cool those tires off before they get back in the corner and rely on that big Pirelli grip.
We saw Adam Andretti's crew talking about going with the wets, and I think they had to because that's what Menard did. Remember, they're in this battle for this championship, which probably is not going to get decided here today. It's probably going to go all the way to our season finale in a couple of weeks at Circuit of the Americas. But in a day like today, you got to at least match up with what your title rival is doing.
I think that's the smartest thing. You know, there's tricky bits of our rule book here where you have X amount of time to make your decision before everything's final and you roll out. So I know that there was a handful of teams right up against that limit. We'll find out later if anybody breached that time limit that I believe is set. But right now it looks probably like it's 70-30 slicks to rains here. I think we got a handful of people, including Chris, that have gambled and said this is going to dry out. If it does not continue to rain, Chris is in the catbird seat here. He's going to get taken over early, but then after a few laps, if these guys can drop it off, Chris will be coming through the field. They're coming to the green now.
46 points separating Menard and Andretti. And here we go. You can see Adam deeper in the field here today. There's Menard up on the front. At Pittsburgh Paints and Stains, number 3. Dyson right alongside. Here we go. Green flag here on Speed Sport 1. Menard with the ring tire should have an advantage getting to 1 and does pull away from Dyson, who's on the slicks. And that can hold everybody else up back behind him, including Pinteric in the 57. And here comes quickly around the outside the 54, Eric Foss, in that Corvette, that C7 Z06, and he's a great rain racer.
And he's got traction control and ABS. That's what our XGT and SGT cars have, and that's what we're going to see here. We see the 17 of Adam Andretti. They did put him to the back of TA because he changed his tires too late.
Here he comes, though. He's already around Kaylee Bryson. He's caught up to Dyson now. Dyson right there. So Adam already up to 5th, looking to get inside of Dyson, coming out of the hairpin. You saw Chris wiggle his big Jimweed Ford, and Adam's going to get past.
This is going to be an amazing strategy play. Either way this goes, Chris, one of the only cars on slicks, obviously getting eaten up. He's already a quarter mile behind our leader, who's off and running on the rain tires with Menard here. Eric Foss is going to give Menard all he can handle here because Foss knows this place. He's an instructor here. He's only 50 yards back from him right now, and all that horsepower that those TA cars have is useless if you can't put it to the ground. So if you've got a Corvette that's got traction control and can really roll through here, we're going to end ABS on this tricky surface.
Knows what he's doing with it.
And the guy that can really hustle. Eric Foss is a quick dude, and I think this is going to be quite an interesting race here as we see Andretti already moved by Dyson and now moved by Pinteric, put himself in position, and he wants to go after that leader, Paul Menard.
Adam working his way out onto the front straightaway now as Menard is already down to turn 1. Adam is just coming off of 17. Let's see if he can reel them back in.
Kaylee Bryson, we're seeing her move down to the middle of the track here, looking for a little bit of water for her rain tires. Might feel like that block on that tread is moving around a bit.
Adam about 7 seconds behind, 8 seconds behind Menard right now.
What a cool view. I've never seen this picture from our drone here where we see the entry to 1 and the exit of 4.
Yeah, here comes Andretti out of 4, headed down to 5. As you see some of the GT cars getting down into turn number 1. And boy, Foss is right there. Look at him going over to cool his tires down. He goes right over to challenge Menard here.
Foss, look at him jumping the curve, even in the wet there. Knows he's got the brakes, knows he's got the TC, can try to take it to one of these cars. Eric, one of the most experienced guys at Barber Motorsports Park, but an all-around excellent driver in any series, anything that he's ever jumped into here. So with the proper car and the crazy conditions, it's always been possible for these TA cars that are monsters in the dry to have their hands full with that much torque and that much power in the wet here. We're even seeing
right
GT
here,
cars.
Dyson continuing to have issues here. Chris has fallen all the way down now to 7th or 8th as he fights with one of the Maseratis and loses another position there, which in the dry it would easily be the other way around with Dyson lapping the Maserati. But as we sit here, our broadcast booth faces to the east, and Andy, you and I right now both being blinded by that big bright orb in the sky, the sun poking through again. So we just don't know exactly how this race is going to go weather-wise.
That face full of sunshine as Chris comes over the crest of out of the crest of turn 16 here is exactly what he wants to see, because if we stay green, which so far, knock on wood, these guys have done a great job about slipping and sliding around here and keeping the cars out of the gravel traps, this track will dry pretty quick with all this heat on the track, and you'll see the opposite happen of Chris coming back through. But will he have time to make up the gap that he's lost to this so far here?
You saw a glimpse of the sun. Here comes Tommy Dreese back behind Adrian Vostovsky right here, who's doing double duty. Adrian driving this Howe Racing entry here, and then about just inside of 3 hours from now, he's going to be back on track in his Q3 Architecture TA2 car, competing for a win there. Vostovsky right now running in the GT category in this CMI Fast Howe Racing Howe HR6.
I like this HR6. It's a new concept from Howe Racing. Charlie designed it. It's a beautiful looking car. I love the paint scheme that they put on it with Adrian, and having a great debut here on one of our GT3 cars. The 14 of Griffin Motorsports is running. Griffin Motorsports is running really strong here with Billy Griffin in it. Again, a car that's got ABS, has traction control. I don't know. I think they stayed on slicks, so they're banking for the long run. They're banking for this track to dry out. I think he's on slicks. That thing is wiggling all over the place trying to get on. He's got ABS and he's got traction control, but when you're sliding around on one of those tires, Chris
off. The slick's too much for Chris Dyson. And that looks like maybe coming down just in front of the museum, because that would be Bigfoot up there by the waterfall straight in front of Chris. Here's Kaylee Bryson, who is leading in her GT category, and there's Chris trying to get going again. You saw Amy Ruman come by behind her. Amy running 6th in category. Kaylee leading right now in the XGT category.
And of note, Paul Menard is just dropping into turn 8-9 right there. That puts Chris Dyson about 3/4 to 7/8 of a lap down here. So he's got to wait out a yellow. He needed to stay on track, hoping this would dry, but he needed to stay on the lead lap here. We don't have a wave-by rule here, so Chris Dyson would have to get up to speed here or hope this dries out quick so those lap times start to come back together here and he can open up this gap, because right now I think he's only got about 8 to 10 seconds before Menard, and he's coming in for slicks. Chris Dyson coming in for slick tires here. This is big for our race here.
Saw Colin Cohn retire. Conditions not working for him in the Maserati, so he is done. He's competing in GT here today.
Paul Menard right on the dry line there. Eric Foss keeping him honest here, pushing him here as the track dries out. The more this track dries out, the easier this is going to be for Paul to be able to pull away. But while we probably at this point have a bunch of portions of this track that it's better to be slicks on, and a bunch of portions that it's better to be on wets. the Pirelli tire is going to perform strong either way, but like if we're looking at Paul now here coming into the hairpin, this is one of the trickier places to put power down. Also one of the trickier places to brake since it's so downhill. So obviously, oh man,
so
this is tough.
Those new tires.
That 16 Jim Wheat car, Chris now a lap down. They want to make sure they don't go 2 laps down. They could potentially come back from 1 lap down if later on these other cars have to come in. But at this point, this is a tough day for Dyson Racing in that Jim Wheat car.
Struggling on that right front right now. That's what's holding them up. Off the jacks and away he goes now.
Menard making his way around Grant, possibly also on slicks there. Tough time for any of these guys that made the choice to stay on slick tires here.
Chris is just going to make it before falling 2 laps down. So
our TA class as it runs is Menard, Andretti, Pinteric with his first potential podium shot here of the season, Ruman, Dreesy, and then Dyson. Split up in there, Eric Foss overall P2, Kaylee Bryson leading XGT with Joyner not far behind, and Griffin taking up the final podium spot there.
Here come the top 2 out onto the front straightaway. Menard with Foss right behind him. Of course, Foss leading in category as well as he's in front in SGT. And he's got an extremely comfortable lead in SGT because you got to get all the way down to Grant, who's running 11th overall, before you find our second car in SGT. And Milton Grant.
So Paul Menard's got 2 things to think about. Obviously, he wants to win this thing overall. There'd be a pride thing of losing a race, no matter what the conditions are, no matter what advantage an SGT car might have with ABS and traction control. He wants to stay in front of that car. For the pride of TA,
yeah.
They're rooting for him. But at the same time, he's got to think championship. And really, the only delta I want at this point, I'll look in my mirror to see if Foss is coming. I want to know where Adam is. I want to know where my pace is to Adam so that I can just reduce risk right now. This is a risk versus reward thing here. If I'm running the same pace as Adam and I've got a 5-second delta, I'm going to kind of keep it there. I'm going to manage those expectations here. I don't think I'm going to walk away from him and destroy that. I want to keep my rain tires in as good a condition as I can so that when Adam turns up the pace, if he turns up the pace and starts to close, Paul's got enough tire to answer. And you can eat up rain tires like crazy in drying conditions, and it'll feel like you've got a flat tire. You'll be going down the straightaway, it'll be pushing it left, right, all over the place. It'll be unstable under braking, so you've got to take care of that tread block. You've got a very tall tread block, and once you start really gripping it up with non-slick surfaces, meaning drying tracks, you move that tread block around, and it really wreaks havoc on the rubber on the tire carcass here that these guys are trying to manage for 100 miles around Barber Motorsports Park, which is one of the hardest places on race tires.
Well, Adam is running 3rd overall, 2nd in category, but he's a ways back.
Both Menard and Andretti actually really good in the rain. Menard didn't have too much time in NASCAR with the rain stuff, but definitely had a handful of races in here and there. Tommy Dreesy, I think, also stayed on slick. We're seeing Menard actually being able to come up and put a lap on Tommy here. He's got to be careful. That was a big risk for these guys that went to slicks here. Tommy being gracious, knowing he's just got to survive this, hoping this track dries out.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's drying that fast, though.
It sure is not, and that sun is gone again.
It is. The wind is up, which is good, but, you know, I hadn't raced at Barber in a few years. I tested here a couple of years ago, but yeah, the dry line, you can see that sort of matte finish through the corner here, and the drivers want to stay right on that. We're not getting that part where you start to see the really light gray parts show up as it starts to dry out. That's what you're looking through your visor for. You want to see those little light gray parts. That's the tell that in 10 minutes from now we're going to be on dry tires.
So you say, oh, Mr. Weatherman. We'll see.
We're also taking a look those laps Paul Menard is doing in the low 140s here. That is 20 seconds off the dry time. So Paul Menard with a 141.4 is his best lap. It was a 120 that Chris Dyson did, so 21 seconds. Normally you're not even thinking about going to dry tires from a wet tire until you're within about 9 to 10 seconds of what that lap is. That's almost always the magic number for every track that's around 2.5 miles long here, and is pretty much indicative of the time that you need to change over before you start doing damage to a rain tire, or when you see the slick start being faster than the rain tire.
You know, Andy, Paul Menard was a very good, really good NASCAR driver. He's turning out to be an exceptional Trans Am racer. What is he doing differently that makes him so much better over here? And don't just say it's the competition, because the competition here at the top of this spear is really good.
It absolutely is good, and Paul's an elite driver. But what Paul was able to do that even the guys that have way more Trans Am races than him is Paul, for 36 weekends a year, was dealing with almost this much horsepower, but with a smaller tire. So your power to grip was actually, it was even worse. You know, they didn't have as much downforce as the Trans Am cars. They didn't have as much actual contact patch. So Paul's throttle management with a lot of horsepower, smoothly putting it down, is really what gives him a huge advantage here. Year in and year out, 30-plus times a year, he did long stints where those tires were getting ripped off the car and not performing very well from the halfway point on of their tire life out, and he had to be able to manage that throttle. And on a wet track, it's like driving with 3,000 horsepower on a dry track. So you've got to take your time. It's sometimes 3, 4, 5 seconds from your initial tip in of throttle before you're at full throttle. If you can just, everyone's watching at home, imagine that in their head. You tip into the throttle, count to 5 before you get all the way to the floor. If you make it there a half a second faster than the next guy, you've just introduced that much power. You've pulled that far away, and you're doing that all in hopes of not spinning that tire up. You're trying to stay right on that edge.
And if you do that just a half a second quicker than you need to, around you go, right?
And that's and at Barber Motorsports, that's going to happen 12, 15 times a lap. Yeah. And when you can roll into that little half a second each time, that's why we're seeing Paul Menard with a 10-second lead on Eric Foss and an 18-second lead now on Adam Andretti.
Adam in his Burton Racing entry. Top liner car. Second in the championship, 46 points behind the guy who's leading the race, who is our reigning champ, looking to go back-to-back as title is for the Tour.
Something we're seeing in time and scoring here. Joyner has overtaken Bryson for the XGT lead here, 6th and 7th overall. I wanted to point something out there. It's not just your driver here. If the crew really quickly can and go and puts all their money on wet, you can disconnect the front bar, you can disconnect the rear bar, you can really let the shocks bleed out here and open up everything. If you go all in, this is going to be wet and this is going to stay wet, you want to soften that car up. And maybe that crew reached in there and made the gamble. And normally you're talking with the driver on that, like, hey, are we ready? Are we ready to go all in here and take this gamble? And maybe they softened that thing up and were able to come up with a quick wet setup that Paul would be able to kind of take the point here and go away.
Scheduled for 100 miles, of course, as are all Trans Am Series events presented by Pirelli. 33 laps remaining, and I don't see right now, Andy, a significant break in the weather coming anytime real soon where you go, I think the guys that went on slicks are in trouble.
33 laps is still a lot of laps, but without a doubt, even if they are in trouble late in the race, they can manage this gap potentially here.
Yeah, especially Menard, who's significantly out front right now. We're going to take a quick break here on Speed Sport 1 and step away to take care of some business as we watch Paul Menard. We'll be right back to see how the number 3 Pittsburgh Paints and Stains machine weathers the conditions. Stay with us. Racing continuing here at Barber and Menard. Extremely smooth. That car has been so dominant in literally every type of conditions we've thrown at it this year.
And that's a testament to the driver. That's a testament to the team. They've got their strategies worked out. and they've got patience and determination behind the wheel there. So this is a patience race. This is a slowly feel that line out, like with no practice in the dry, no practice in the wet, just everything that we've done so far this week in the dry here, and then having no other notes because Trans Am's never raced here before. They're learning on the fly. Paul's learning on the fly here. Paul's never raced here before. Most of these guys haven't done a lot of laps at Barber Motorsports Park before here because Trans Am, this is their first stop here.
And it's been a rousing success, I would say. Everybody has really enjoyed coming here to Barber and being a part of the weekend here. And as Andy points out, the weather has been bone dry and hot all weekend long until literally today. Championship will gather up once again in just, 2 weeks. Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas to close out the 2025 season. And then to crown our champions and celebrate them Sunday night in the Austin area. And we are back here at Barber Motorsports Park. There is Amy Ruman in her big red McNichols Corvette, currently running 5th overall, 4th in the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli category, top of the series.
Eric Joyner has made an impressive run from the back of the pack to come through again with the perfect car here, actually gaining on Amy Ruman here, trying to work his way in the top 5. You see that white Porsche in the background just flashing in the view. His last lap was actually right on par. Amy Ruman turned it up, did her best lap on the last lap, and we're going to see that over and over here. We've got the number 8 of Dreese here. Smart guy. Charlotte. Yeah, kept his foot in it after, you don't want to hit the brakes coming into the gravel trap right there. You want to keep your foot through it. On board with him here, slipping and sliding. Remember, Tommy, one of those cars on slicks here.
Got that trench showing Motul back number 8. We saw Amy running there a little bit ago. That is one driver who just has not really enjoyed her time here at Barber. This is not the style of racetrack that Amy Ruman enjoys. She likes Road America. She likes Watkins Glen. She wants to open up that big Corvette and let it just rip. And here, tighter confines, been a bit of a struggle to really come to grips with it.
Definitely a little trickier place, little different place. She started coming around yesterday. Oh, we got a good battle here for 2nd overall. Andretti doing his fastest lap on his last lap, making a move on Eric Foss on the outside of 16 here.
To the inside at 17, the final corner, and Adam is by.
And this dive, this is the look for the wet weather here. They know, they feel those rain tires going. It must be getting more dry than we can see on TV if we're seeing those cars do that. We're seeing the Trans Am's cars go forward now, but we're seeing all of these guys start to look for water there.
But that is a big move for Adam again, just keeping that championship hope alive. If he can hang on and finish in 2nd, that will certainly take that title fight all the way to Austin.
We're only about a third of the way, not even a third of the way into this race here. So at 20 seconds back here, Adam can start chipping away on this now. If he'd been conserving the tires or if Paul's been pushing too hard, now we'll get to really monitor this and see where that gap is. And, I mean, we're only a third of the way into this thing. One yellow closes us up, and this is a totally different race. One yellow, you start to see these strategy guys come into it, and maybe we go back to slicks. Right now, we're getting to that point here as they get quicker. Maybe this is time to go to slicks. Maybe they gamble on that sun peeking through. We can still see it every minute or so peeking through those clouds.
Yeah. And you got to wonder how hard Adam had to push just to get to 2nd, right? How much did he abuse the tire to get there? As opposed to Paul, who's been out in clean air since the drop of the green. This should be our XGT leader. Here is that sun
That's Joyner here. He started in the back of the pack after having some issues here. That's the good boy Coffey car.
Yeah, he's 6th overall in leading class.
Eric's been with us once or twice this year already. A strong car, beautiful car here. One of our GT3 examples. Obviously, he was who we talked to on the grid with Ben Sissel earlier. He was praying for rain, cheering when it started raining down there, as I know Eric Foss was doing the same thing here. But that's our XGT example. And again, if we get a yellow and this packs up, that's another car that can come through this field. We're going to have multiple classes competing for the overall podium here today.
Yep, sure are.
Eric Joyner setting his fast lap with a 45-1. Not quite what the leaders are doing. Adam Andretti, first car into the 40s, fast lap as he gains 2 seconds on Paul Menard over the last 2 laps. It's only an 18-second difference now. It sounds like a lot, but when we've got wet, damp tracks, any bit of traffic, anything can mess that up. David Pentarek now on screen, running 3rd in class. Everybody is rooting for David Pentarek for a podium here. It's been a while since we've seen him spraying champagne on the podium. He's doing a great job here. Was fast in practice, fast in the dry. So this isn't just a lucky one because it's wet out. He qualified 4th overall, and he's doing a great job here.
Yeah, I wanted to give David a shout out. I mean, he's had a very up and down season. Beautiful car. He was racing with us for the majority of the season. Had a huge crash at Sonoma Raceway with Adam Andretti. Team had to completely rebuild the car. They were out for a few rounds. Here they are back racing with us again, and he's having a really good run. And we also want to mention that he's involved with this new campaign to support Bird's Eye View Project, which is tremendous, where they're helping first responders and our veterans.
Very
doing
much
a lot
involved.
of great work with them. For every dollar he raises he's raising, every lap he makes, it's
$10 per lap that he's doing here.
Thanks for helping me out.
It's a
I need
great
my rain
cause.
tires on.
It's all good. It's a great cause always. David is always up for stuff like that. We see Adam Andretti flying over the crest of turn 4 here. That's an easy one in the dry. That's sketchy in the wet. Look at this drone shot. See that matte finish that you're seeing Andretti on here? That's where we're getting sticky. That's why this track is getting faster. We're seeing tiny little hints of that light gray. Like Ben Sissel just sent me a note here, said we're starting to see shadows on the track because this sun is coming through. And for the first time, that's the most significant patch of blue sky that we're looking at up here. A sign maybe these guys on slicks have a little bit of hope, and maybe that torture is over from their slipping and sliding here. Adam Andretti continues, took almost another second off of that gap here from 1st to 2nd. If Paul's smart, he's probably hanging out now, knows he can give about a half a second a lap up and still be in good range here. With 28 laps remaining, if we go the distance on laps, he can give up a half a second and still be 3 seconds up at the checkered flag. So
our MCO Gears total laps led right now, Paul Menard at 14. There's Paul right there coming at you. And here's Kaylee Bryson in her bright yellow and black Corvette. She's had a tremendous year. And Kaylee, by just starting here today, Andy, wins another championship with us. She becomes our XGT champion.
Such a solid driver with a great future here. I love the fact, and I've said this 100 times on this broadcast, she will drive anything, whether it's GT cars in the Trans Am series, midgets, sprint cars. She's all about it, wants to give everything a shot. I know she'd love to be able to find a sponsor to move up to Trans Am, to move up to TA2, one of these classes here, just to get a little more competition and really kind of be able to flex and show what she's got here. Super, super solid driver. LSI Racing has been supporting her for quite a long time here, and she's given back there with another championship here and going forward again in our XGT class.
And how good is Kaylee Bryson? Well, she becomes the first woman in Trans Am competition to win championships in 2 different classes, winning XGT and SGT, and she becomes the 2nd woman to win 2 Trans Am championships overall. Of course, Amy Ruman, the first to do that. So congratulations, Kaylee. Nice job.
I'm watching that car, and as we see those very dry spots here, that car's got a lot of horsepower, but it's also pretty heavy, so it's going to abuse those tires. I can see the back end of that car. She's being very ginger with how she has to go to power there because she wants to be able to take care. Knows we're not even halfway here, and on a set of rain tires, dive into the bottom here, looking for those puddles here. We're almost dry on that dry line, or on the normal line that these cars would be running here, and you can see she's definitely starting to lose the rear tires on there as we see the GT car here on her tail. That car a little lighter, a little more nimble, probably a little more sturdier rain tire.
I'm seeing that sun popping through here more and more, so this thing is going to start drying out for now. See how long it lasts. See some sunlight glistening off the paint, actually. Wow.
Jack Latham there, we saw in picture. Want to give him a welcome to the Trans Am Series. His first time running with us here. He's doing an awesome job here.
We're going to take a quick break here. We will be right back with more racing with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli on Speed Sport 1. There's Adrian Vostovsky. Vostovsky running 10th overall right now. Second in class in that Howe Racing entry. And Andy, something to think about with Vostovsky, he's getting 100-mile practice in these wet conditions. And inside of 3 hours from now, if things don't change weather-wise around here, he's going to come back out in TA2 and have a huge advantage.
If this stayed wet, this would be a gigantic advantage. I think this is going to clear out, and we're going to be in really good shape for a dry TA2 race coming up. So be sure to tune back in with us here for that race. Chris Dyson just set fastest lap of the race, first car into the 38.
Back here on Speed Sport 1 as we watch Adrian Vostovsky, and we were just chatting here a little bit about Adrian coming back within 3 hours of the finish of this race to run the Q3 Architecture TA2 race. So depending on what the weather does, he could have a huge advantage with his 100 miles of practice in the wet here today.
I think he was hoping that we'd be same conditions for each, but he's getting some good experience here. We see that dry line getting more and more cleared out here as Paul Menard, just the first car to dip into the 37s with a 37.98. He answered Adam Andretti's 38.9, a clear 1.01 seconds, as he's actually now maybe taken a couple of laps to relax, but now he's chilled out as we see Eric Foss still third overall, diving for some water. That Corvette is not a light car there, and I know he wants to keep these tires on. Obviously aware we're only 31 minutes into this race with 43 minutes and or 24 laps left. It's going to be close with either of those. Chris Dyson, who had previously set fast lap, he's got second fastest lap of the race right now, just behind Menard on slicks, trying to work his way by Amy Ruman. He's 2 laps down as Ruman, running 5th overall, 4th in class, is in position for a decent finish here because Tommy Dreese is not having a good day, and they are fighting in the points championship.
Chris comes into this race tied for second with the late great Mark Donohue on the most wins all time in Trans Am competition at 29, only 2 behind Paul Gentilozzi, who has 31 and the most.
I think Chris was hoping for a W here so that he could head to COTA to try to tie Paul Gentilozzi's record of 31. Paul Gentilozzi, obviously one of our Hall of Fame receivers on our inaugural Hall of Fame for the Trans Am. He received that award along with a host of other great legends of the sport here at our season opener at Sebring. And now Chris is going to have to leave it for our 60th anniversary, Trans Am 60th anniversary in 2026 to try to tie and or break that record.
What a year that's going to be next year.
Absolutely. Adam Andretti setting his fast lap on that last lap at a 38.0, trying to close that distance. Close the distance to Paul by half a second, but that's not much at the gap that he's got right now. Paul in control really well here. We're seeing the battle for 5th overall between two very, very different styles of cars. Joyner catching up to Ruman here. This is the closest that he's been so far. Again, Ruman, ton of horsepower, but no ABS, no traction control. Joyner obviously missing about 200 horsepower from what Amy Ruman's Corvette puts out, but where he lacks in horsepower, he makes up in a huge amount of downforce and driver aids with the ABS and the traction control.
Well, she can just hold him off to the front straightaway, and then she can gap him again, and then
I think
rinse, wash, repeat,
I think
right?
that's the goal. I
Here
think
we
that's
go.
the goal. As we see Joyner also feeling the pinch there, feeling that handling going away as he dives for that water to just try to shock and cool those Pirelli rain tires.
And credit to all these drivers. Yes, we've had a couple go off, but everybody has kept it out of the gravel traps and for the most part been able to return onto the track. We have had no full course cautions. And Andy, I would have bet everything that by now we would have had at least 2.
I was going to make that same bet earlier today as we see Joyner to the inside using that ABS and that GT3 car to make that pass in very tricky conditions, that downhill entry into the hairpin here and be able to put the power down and drive away. Amy probably not concerned too much with that car, really more concerned with the car that's in her mirror right now. That's Paul Menard about to lap up to 5th place here. A really stellar drive by Paul Menard here. Even though he's got that gap, he's still pushing here.
Yeah, what Amy knows is she's got a lot of room between her and Dyson. She's running now in, 6th, and Dyson is all the way back in 9th and quite a ways behind her. So she's got a lot of room to play with.
Yeah, this is essentially like a damage control day here. You know,
Yeah.
that's not a big. Amy Ruman is running probably one of the smaller budgets of all of these teams here. Obviously, a long-term racer and past champion in here with sponsors like McNichols and Valley Auto Group. She really depends on those companies here. So if we're not in a place where she's battling for an exact position here, she's like, okay, I've got my potential 4th place points here. And as I'm sure she wants to push forward and go catch Penteric for that final podium spot, there's a logic that's got to play out with risk versus reward, like I mentioned before, and how she treats the rest of this race. No, there's those light spots really getting dry out of turn 2 there. Same thing all the way down here. I'm seeing a little bit on the front straight, not too dry, but where we see those tires really load up mid-corner, those Pirelli wets are drying this track off.
But you look out the window and there's still literally every shade of gray in the sky somewhere.
Exactly, and we see with those times, Adam Andretti now really throwing down a 35.8. We're still not quite in the spot that we would put slick tires on these cars, but we're getting very close. All of the top 5 just set their fast lap on their last lap. So no matter how bad these rain tires are getting worn by being in these semi-dry conditions, it's still creating more grip, and they're still going forward, setting their fast lap of the race here. Looking at the radar here, there's this tiny little patch of green that might be teasing to drop a little bit more rain on us, just to throw another monkey wrench into the craziness of what is already very, very tricky conditions here.
Here's Adam. He's got a cool competition on his own if you get the QR code going the right way, right? You can go
absolutely
battle with Adam.
Go tune in to Adam's social media on his Instagram. There's right down the road from my house on next month or this Monday. Sunday? It's the Sunday after it's the Sunday and it's December. I'm sorry. Yeah. I know I know I've got the date because I'm just going to be getting home from PRI and head up to Buford, Georgia to Andretti Speed Lab up there and go do some go-karting with Adam Andretti. The winner is going to get an all-expense-paid trip to Sebring for our season opener here. So I know Adam Andretti, top liner, and all the group there that is putting this on. All of his associate sponsors are chipping in and helping these guys out, put on a really cool show at a little bit of the family business there and go have some fun and get some fans out to Sebring.
Yeah, or if you can't get on his social media but you're coming to COTA, there's a giant stand-up in front of the Burton Racing hauler, and there's a QR code on it. You can take a picture of it on your phone. You can do it there.
Adam Andretti again answering the first car into the 34, so we're creeping down and down. And he's taken another 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's
off.
chipping away at it, isn't he?
He is, and I can't imagine that Paul's so much on conserve mode as he's just on, probably at 98%. Okay to give a little bit back, but that's a lot for last lap. Adam was 2 seconds quicker on that lap, and that's a little bit too much to give back right now with 20 laps remaining in this race.
Look at how far over to the edge of the racetrack Paul has gotten there, coming down that straightaway, trying to get some wet on those tires.
You talk about a guy that knows the limits of his car right there. The last few millimeters of contact patch were actually touching a few blades of grass there.
From being completely
exactly, and probably completely composed like Paul always is. Heart rate low, just chilling out. That helps you in these situations when you can just stay cool, calm, and collected in very, very tricky conditions.
He doesn't seem to get rattled much, does he?
No. And that for sure helps. As we got a great drone view of those Pittsburgh paints and stains entering the little roller coaster section in the back corner by what is definitely the coolest museum ever to show up at a racetrack.
Oh, yeah.
As we come through Museum Corner here, under the bridge, you see the track drying out here.
There is the Barber Motorsports Vintage Museum. Race cars, motorcycles, you name it, they're in there. Outboard motors, all kinds of cool stuff.
Aesthetically, one of the most beautiful racetracks I've ever been to. The people at Barber keep this place pristine. From every blade of grass cut meticulously around here. The artwork, the scoreboard, the museum, the pit area, everything just absolutely top notch.
Did you have a favorite in the museum?
Yes. Bobby Allison's Miller Genuine Draft Winston Cup car.
Yeah, that's a great one.
All those cool F1 cars are neat. The motorcycles are cool, but I was a NASCAR guy. We got to get some Trans Am cars in there.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Well, if we had a Lotus Trans Am car, we could find a spot for it real easy. Mr. Barber loves his Lotus. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break here on Speed Sport 1, and we'll be back. You'll see the finish live here at Barber. And Adam Andretti is only 14 seconds behind now. Close in and make a pass on Paul Menard. So Andretti continues to chip away at Menard. Down to 14 seconds now. It was over 20 at one point.
Set a fast time of a 33.9. That is almost 2 seconds clear of any other car's fastest lap on track. Adam jumping over there. He's seeing that this track is drying out, and he's finding places to go here. He's taking care of his tires enough now to be able to put down some big laps here. So you combo that gain and then maybe a little luck in traffic as Paul gets caught up here and there, and we've got this race is coming right back to him.
Got 18 laps to go.
Plenty of time. And this is some of that traffic I talked about. Man, he didn't want to get caught. He wanted to catch these guys coming onto the front straightaway, not through a long set of sweeping corners as he works his way by one of the grants. Now back onto the tail of Joyner
He's almost to the point of being able to see Paul in front of him.
Man, for Adam to cut that line that much, those tires must be all over the place as he looks for every bit of wet that he can get, but he's got the bit in his teeth. Lost a half a second to Paul on that lap just from traffic, but still moving forward here. Chris Dyson now fastest lap of the race at a 33 flat. Nothing to lose, 2 laps down, just on pride. Wants that fastest lap so he can load up the trailer. He's had quite an up and down weekend, from an amazing pole to some other crazy antics going on in the paddock. He's definitely been all over the place in his Barber Motorsports Park experience.
Back here on Speed Sport 1, watching live from Barber Motorsports Park. That's Adam Andretti right there in his top-liner Chevy. Chasing after Paul Menard, 14 seconds in front of him is the Pittsburgh Paints and Stains number 3, the reigning champ. These two embroiled in our title fight. 46 points separating Menard and Andretti as we are here today at our penultimate round of the 2025 season for the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. Here comes Menard, right at you down the front straightaway. Just behind him there's Dreesy, and right behind Dreesy, here comes Adam, cutting way over to the pit wall. Try to use as much water and moisture and coolness on those Pirelli rain tires as he can.
Man, he's sacrificing a lot out of turn 17.
3 seconds.
Oh, a 31.5 again.
3 seconds
reset.
Off of the
We've got we are way back in contention here. Adam is on it and going. I don't know. This is the neat part of the strategies and what everyone gets to watch at home, including us. You know, normally we know where these tires are going to go on the Pirelli slicks in the dry. Over 100 miles, we can take a guess at an approximate fall. We have no idea how each one of these drivers is pressing. Obviously, Adam's on it. We don't know if Paul's fallen off because he had such a good early pace, or if he's managing this to let Adam get to him so he's got a good, strong tire to finish the last 10 laps or so. We know Adam's on 100% right now. We don't know where Paul is, but boy, I tell you, next time around, if they haven't already, Gentilozzi is on that radio with Paul going, hey, a little too much, get back there. Let's turn it up, make sure we got a good pocket to finish this thing.
If you can.
If you can.
We don't know. We don't know what's going on inside the number 3 right now. We do know what's going on inside the 17. Red Mist.
Exactly.
He is fired up. Adam is on the charge, and he has been all season long. Here we come again, out onto the front straightaway. Let's see what the gap is now.
And here's the tricky part. That gap could close really well, but that's 3 cars in between Adam and his target.
137.
130.3. That was 3.3 seconds faster than Menard that lap.
Okay, now at this point, Paul has got to get moving.
He does, but at the same time, Adam's got to stay patient as he works his way by one of those 3 cars, but that was a second at least that he lost right there, and he knows time is winding down here, and he's got to make his way by Dreesy, and he's got to make his way by the next car there. That's Pentarek as well. Those two not fighting for position, but also don't like anybody passing them.
This would have to be one of the greatest comebacks in a Trans Am race I have ever seen.
Somehow,
from how far back he was in these conditions to this point.
Absolutely. I love when Andretti's on the chip and going. We've seen such great battles between Menard and Andretti, Dyson Andretti, Menard, Andretti and Dyson. I mean, all year these 3 have really, really stepped up. Oh, man, Tommy doesn't want him by.
Tommy trying to get around Pentarek.
Absolutely what the last thing Adam wants to see here. 2 cars, tough to pass, that are fighting each other. They're not even on the same lap here.
No. That is really holding him up. Pentarek gets out of the way and lets him by.
Adam and Dreesy came to blows on track in turn 4 at VIR at our last race.
Did.
And they're probably thinking of exactly that again. Adam lost 4.7 seconds to Menard on that lap, just dealing with that traffic there. That is everything. That's almost half the gap there.
It's a killer. Well, there are 14 laps remaining, so he's still got a long way to go to get it back. But he's got to dispose of Tommy Dreese fast.
Quickly. It'll be a little easier now that it's just one car. But boy, somebody lit the fire under Tommy Dreese here, and he does not want to get past.
Tommy right now sits 11th overall, 6th in class.
Man, there's still a lot of laps to go. Paul Menard just set his fast lap, so he was able to come close to answering Andretti's quick lap within about 1.1 seconds. But I know if we can get Adam by Tommy here, we're going to have something to talk to you guys about in our closing laps.
Trying to set up a good run down the front straightaway here.
Yeah, we'll see if Adam actually sacrifices that exit this time to try to be able to make that move on Tommy. Probably not. He's having a little trouble. Tommy's turned it up here. Tommy, remember, is on slicks. That's why this is becoming a problem, and that's why this is such... Tommy's been on slicks this whole time, 2 laps down. The track is finally coming to the cars on slicks, and they're going to get a chance to go for it and set quick lap here. So, boy, Adam does his quickest lap as well as Tommy, whose tires are coming in. Tommy Dreese and Adam within a tenth of each other, 130.0. Adam closed it back down another second and a half, now within 10 seconds. Tommy Dreese, second fastest lap of the race, only 500ths off of Andretti.
This could get into a position where if Adam can't get around Tommy, maybe Tommy can pull him up.
They can work together, go get Menard. Either way, Adam wants him to either go real fast or get out of the way. But it looks like in these last couple laps, you see that light gray, those patches I was talking about, that's grip, and that's everything that guys on slicks want to see. Oh.
13 laps remaining.
This is a tough spot. That's enough room right there where it's not really impeding Adam at all. He's probably just still fuming mad that he lost all those seconds there. As it seems like just as the track came in, it was allowing Tommy to pick back up from the time that he'd been losing as the track kind of swapped from being fastest. And it's just what I was saying. 10 seconds is that window where all of a sudden the slick gets faster. Our pole time was a 1:20.
And
now they're
to
running
a 1:29. He's down to 8 seconds.
Wow, big time. 2 seconds off again as they work their way around Grant here.
Tracy ran a 1:29.1.
A slick
Andretti
tire,
1:29.6.
and that's the first time we've seen it. A slick tire has set the fastest lap of the race.
There you see a little bit of patch of blue. You see every shade of gray possible. What a wild day weather-wise.
So our brake zones are fully dry, and that's where those slicks are really going to make up a lot of time here.
It's our final Speed Sport 1 break coming up right now, and we will come back and show you every lap to the finish here live on Speed Sport 1 and what is turning out to be an incredible race. Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. Andretti continues to hunt behind Dreese. Let's see what the gap is as that sun pops out again. Coming out onto the front straightaway, Menard goes past the start-finish line. Let's see what the clock says.
Gained another second, almost exactly.
Just inside of 6.5.
Boy, without that holdup in traffic there, that top liner service partner's car would be right on the bumper of Paul Menard, who is now facing his own issues as he's going to have 4 cars to get by. One of them, Chris Dyson. Chris might actually again be caught out on the wrong tires. I think he finally went to Reigns. Unfortunately, this is just a tough weekend for him. Makes his way by the first car.
Well, and Chris and Paul have had their own squabbles on the track as well. So We'll see how this goes.
Exactly. Paul making his way by our GT leader, the 27 of Latham, doing a great job here, running top 10 overall, 7th overall. Really good job here. Foss getting absolutely has torn up these rain tires, going for it here. Latham gets by. That's going to put, almost gets by there. Oh, this is what Adam wants now. This is what is returning back here. He's got the lead, so he's got to be fairly cautious here. But man, with Andretti closing this much,
and that's Vostovsky, right?
No. Oh, is it? Oh, it is. I'm sorry. I was thinking it was Latham. Yep.
All right, here comes Menard. They're 3 wide coming across the start-finish line here. Menard diving to the inside, trying to get to 1, but Dyson beats him there and holds him up a little bit. Andretti, a 1:29.5, 5 seconds. Paul Menard held up a little bit here behind Chris Dyson. And even closer now is Adam Andretti, who has cut it to 5 seconds to him and Menard.
Chris Dyson not wanting to let anyone by. Cracks out the throttle a little bit, especially with those rain tires. Paul's going to get the run.
But you can see Andretti back there. He's got to work through the same traffic, so we'll see how quickly he can dispose of these cars.
This is where the patience is absolutely going to wear thin. For the first time, we're seeing Menard.
Kaylee Bryson is off. Could that be the full course caution?
It could be. They're stopped on track. They're going to likely have to go full course yellow if she can't restart that car and get it rolling again. Andretti's still going to want to work through as many lapped cars as possible so he can restart as close to Paul as needed here, as possible here, so that he can get the jump. Chris Dyson not wanting to give back up anything, trying to stay with Paul. A bunch of GT cars. Adams worked through most of them, has 1 more to go before he gets to the bumper of Dyson. That's Vlastovsky in the 9. Almost every car setting the fastest lap of their race so far.
Here comes Andretti, still sitting behind Dreesy. 3.8 seconds, the gap between Andretti and
course
Menard.
yellow.
Full course caution comes out.
Menard, Ben Sissel just gave us a report. Menard's team is on the wall with a jack, putting their gloves on, slick tires out and ready here. Good work by the camera crew to go catch that. If we go yellow here, the gamble to go to the back of the pack to put on slicks. Oh, this is tricky. This is a tricky call here because, and Adam gets to be in the catbird seat. I would basically, as Adam, do the opposite of whatever Paul's doing here.
Whatever Paul does, I'm going the other way.
Whatever Paul does, I'm going the other way. If Paul makes the call to go to pit and go to slicks, I stay out on my reins, and I hope all those GT cars block the heck out of them. Yep. Or that maybe we go back to yellow again or something. You know, yellows breed yellows, as they say, and that might be the thing that he does. Or he comes with them and rockets and hopes that his pit stop is better. You know, these guys are not used to doing pit stops day in and day out. So when these pits open, this is going to be a little bit of a new call for Burton Racing and Gentilozzi to get a good car on here.
Well, also under this full course caution, Adam can hunt out some really wet pieces of racetrack in areas that he wouldn't under heavier speeds.
He can drive through the grass if he wants.
He literally could. And really cool those tires down as much as possible. And he's whittling away laps right now, too, that if Paul does do this, Paul might end up with 6 to 5 laps to come from the back to the front, whereas Adam, when he was doing it, had quite a few. Let's go down to Ben Sissel, who's made his way down to the pits.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm down here, and we're looking at 3 GT. The team, I'm seeing Paul Menard go back by around, but the team is trying to communicate. They've got their tires ready. They've got the gun ready. The cable's out. But then also, if we come down here to Adam Andretti's team, I'm seeing they're shuffling around a little bit too. With Damon, Terry, what's your strategy here? Are you going to do what Paul does?
We trying to figure it out right now, like literally.
Get missed. Yeah, we're trying to.
They're trying to figure it out. So they're basically saying, stop bothering me. We're trying to figure this out right now. So, Tabitha, maybe you could tell me, are they going to follow Paul's lead, or are you guys going to go on your own thing?
Oh, as far as the restart? Oh, well, I mean, it's a little bit of both, right? You got to go with your own decision, but at the same time, you have to pay attention to what the leader's doing. So, to be honest, we don't know. Figure it out.
The reason I can't get answers down here is because nobody really knows. It's going to be basically if the driver decides to come in at pit end. I'm not sure what we're doing, but we're seeing here, look, well, here's Dreesy's team, and here's the Wets. They probably wish they would have started the race on, but now Dreesy's out there setting the best time. So, Andy, I'm sure you've been in races like this, so give us your expert opinion on what Andretti and Menard should do.
The fastest cars are going to be on slick tires, hands down, without a doubt. The gamble here is if I pit and I go to slicks, can I get through the field fast enough? Can I come back? Can I come from the back to the front in the time remaining and roll the dice that there's not going to be another yellow? If I've got 5 to go, I'd do this. I'd roll the dice. I'd come in, put slicks on, send it. But I needed to stay green the whole time.
We're hearing that the 23 will have a pass-through penalty. That would be Amy Ruman for speeding under code 60. So that's a big hit for Amy, who was running 6th.
That's a tough one right there, and that's unusual for Amy to miss a call like that.
Yeah.
We've been through enough code 60s here. I wonder if there was some miscommunication. You know, often in times like this, if your electrics get wet, you can easily burn the radio out. She might not have had communication. Maybe even her Flextronics unit wasn't getting a signal there. So unusual that we'd have a call like that for a veteran like Amy. We're seeing a couple cars pitting now. Andretti stayed out. Menard stayed out. Vlastovsky in, Eric Foss in. Eric Foss, nothing to lose. Vlastovsky, nothing to lose. They're coming for slicks. They want to come through. Vlastovsky going to try to make a move so he can get by Lathan. Eric was leading SGT, but he's done it by a lap, so he'll actually be in really good favor here. He might be able to go battle those TA cars that are actually on slicks here. He's lead lap, so that could be one of those crazy monkey wrenches in this fight again.
Well, whatever you decided on your tires, you're stuck with now because we're going green next time by.
Green next time by. That's going to be 6+ laps for us to get rolling here. Did Penteric pit for slicks? I thought
I just saw him.
Or he just went screaming by. I'm not sure if he was just that far back on the code 60 that he's catching up.
Could be.
Ben Sissel, if you're down there, if you've got any info, did you see David Penteric pit? We got Joyner here. I think these guys are they have to stay out. If we're going green this time, your call was last time by. That's when you had to do this here. So we're gonna have a restart with 3 TA cars at the front on wets and Tommy Dreesy on dries. Tommy Dreesy, who had set the fastest lap just a little bit before we went full course yellow, is going to be another variable, another very interesting variable here in these closing laps, as we've got Eric Foss and Vlastovsky and Joyner trying to catch the back of the pack before we go back to green, and they'll be able to do that, no problem here. They're coming out of the hairpin. They'll catch the guys by the museum turn. We'll have a full pack all caught up and in line by the time we come around to take the green here.
You see Adam going everywhere on the racetrack he can to find water, cool those Pirellis down. He is going to be right behind Dreesy, who's right behind Tyson, who's right behind Menard. Menard, again, 46 points up on Andretti in the championship. After today, just one race to go, the season finale in 2 weeks at Circuit of the Americas. We hope you'll join us for live coverage of that right here on Speed Sport 1. Adam looking to win a championship, and Menard looking to win his second. The reigning champ wanting to go back-to-back.
I still see the lights on the pace car, so I'm not sure if that's going to dip into pit lane here yet. We might get one more lap of yellow, which Paul Menard desperately wants.
I would have thought the lights would have gone out by now.
Pace car's going to stay out. We're going to get one more lap. That's going to put us going to green at 5 to go. We're at 7 to go now. We're going to cross the line for 6 to go. We'll come to the green with 5 to go. That's going to put Paul Menard able to take the green with 2 lapped cars between him and Dyson, the trickiest of which will be Tommy Dreese on the slicks. Now remember, on our initial starts, we've got to stay in line. These cars have to stay in 2 rows of 2, and on the restart, when that green drops, no matter what turn they're in, they can go racing and start passing.
We're going to take one more real quick break here so we can come back and show you everything to the finish here on Speed Sport 1. Should be fantastic. Watching from our drone down there in 1 and 2, and now they're headed over to 5. See, you come over that crest and drops down pretty significantly to the entrance of 5.
It is, as you sit here and look at it, it doesn't look as much. In the car, it is a handful, a huge handful. For our people watching at home that have not been to Barber Motorsports Park, that is one of the more intense elevation changes, for sure.
Told now that we will be coming back to green flag this time for sure. So you're going to have 5 laps to get it done. Boy, I don't know who's in a better position, Dyson or Andretti. Probably Dyson, since he is, or not Dyson, but Menard, since he is the overall race leader.
I want to start at the front. I'm going to hope that the guy that's in second, that's a lap down, is going to give me a little bit of breathing room and not take me out here. I'm happy that he is on the same tire I am on, if I'm Paul Menard, because I know that Tommy Dreese, now with the track even drier, we've had a lot of sun in this caution. Look at how dry that is. We've almost got a full dry line. This is going to be tough for Paul Menard to keep Tommy Dreese back there. And then, of course, Adam Andretti is going to just probably try to follow Tommy through here. Coming to green.
Turn 1 should be really interesting here, because Andretti's going to have to be very aggressive.
Yep.
Back here live on Speed Sport 1, just in time as the field comes out of turn 17 onto the front straightaway, looking for the green flag. We'll have 5 laps to go here at Barber. There it is. We're racing towards turn number 1. Andretti's back and forth. Menard the lead. Here comes Andretti inside of Dreese. Remember, they had contact at VIR. Smooth through there for now.
Tommy Dreese on slick tires has probably the best potential to go forward here. Adam, the best potential to take the win here with 2 lap cars between Paul and himself, needs to get by these guys.
Andretti looking to get to the inside of Dreese, getting down into 5. He's there. He could clear Dreese and Dyson. Gets them both in one corner. It's now between Menard and Andretti to the finish. 4.5 laps remaining. 46 points between the two in the championship.
That was an incredibly strong move by Adam. Obviously, really wants that W. We've been empty in the win column for Andretti, and this is his best chance of the year. He's had the strongest car, and that was amazing on range to pass a car on slicks in the dry.
And if he hunts him down and passes him today, after everything he's been through this year, going in Dakota, he'll have so much momentum.
Keeps the championship alive, but honestly, as a driver, you just want that win, and he's there.
He is on it. Look at this. I don't know. There's got to be more going on with Menard's car than just a tire. Did he make the right choice or not? Because Adam is eating him up.
Like we talked about before, they might have gone full range setup. Adam might have left the dry setup on and just put on slicks that take care of that tire a little bit better, and then when it dries out, he might have the advantage. Obviously, these two have checked out.
Half a second the distance as they cross the start-finish line between the two.
At this point, as a driver, you don't want to hear intervals anymore. You see him in sight. You've got him locked in. You just want quiet and let me work. Let me go to town. Adam's been so strong into this hairpin. We'll see how much he closes up.
He's there again. Look at that. Diving so deep into turn number 5.
What you're doing as a driver at this point right now is looking for, okay, I know I've been gaining on Paul, but where have I been gaining on Paul? Where's his weak spots? Where can I exploit that? Where can I make this pass for the win?
Menard versus Andretti. Ford versus Chevy. What a fight to the end here.
These two obvious friends off the track, but there's still a little bit of a rivalry there. 3GT and Claudio, these guys each want to be at the top of the stack here. Obviously, Paul, got to think championship. Adam isn't thinking anything but a win.
Look at the dive. Adam makes you one of the most committed points of the racetrack. Closes right up on him. Inside here through 15 and 16. Can he cut back? Will he stay to the outside at 17? Crosses back to the inside. Here we come, screaming it down the front straightaway, looking to turn one. Andretti to the inside. Whoa! Going for the win. Trying to make the move here. Pushes Menard a little bit wide. Paul fights back. He'll have the inside at 2. And hangs on for now. Boy, that was everything there by Adam.
Both of them showing great control, great respect for each other.
But Adam's even better coming into 5. What will he do now? Inside again, looking into 5. Andretti's there, door to door. He's got him. Adam Andretti from over 20 seconds down to the lead, but Menard battles back. Incredible fight between these two. Side by side, headed down to the next set of corners, and Andretti is there. He's out front. He has secured the lead here now. Can he hang on with 2.5 laps to go?
Incredible move, great desire, great respect and racing between those two. Awesome racing. Rain tires in the dry often produces awesome moments like this. This is a season-long highlight reel for Adam Andretti
and
going to the front.
Look at the gap already, Andy. I mean, he is pulling right away.
We've known Adam's been quicker. He was patient, but that battle was so good, so highlight-worthy there. Love it here. But now you know what happens. Adam knows he's got this in the bag, but he's going to start hearing every little gear crunch, every little noise, every little header broke, every whatever, as he tries to get this thing home. Got to relax your hands on the wheel. Got to bring the heart rate down. He knows he's got the pace. He's just got to bring it home at 99.9%, not give anything back. Now he wants to hear his intervals again. Now he's going to check that mirror a little more than he's been doing all race long to make sure that gap stays good, and he's good to the checkered flag here. 1 3/4 laps left in this race.
He was over 20 seconds down to Paul Menard, trying to find out if there's ever been a bigger gap overcome by a driver to win in Trans Am. But this has been an incredible drive by Adam all day long.
White flag next time by. Adams opened up to 100 yards here, but again, that pressure is still on here. When you haven't had a win all year long, this is the toughest lap and a half that you're going to do. You've got to keep yourself composed. Not let those emotions flood in. Stay cold. Stay cold-hearted. Hit your marks and just do your thing like he's been doing all race long, but now with just all that extra pressure on him.
I can't imagine what Victory Lane is going to be like here today in our Jim Weed Winner's Circle, because Adam is always a high-energy guy. He has been so fired up to win this championship this year, and he is going to be feeling this after coming through here and pulling off, hopefully, what could be an incredible victory. White flag is awaiting for him as he comes onto the front straightaway. One more to go, be his first win of 2025. His wife, Tabitha, you heard from her, Ben talking to her earlier, here to cheer him on, the entire Burton Racing team. There's the gap as they come through 2 and 3 and headed down to the hairpin at 5.
He actually closed, Paul actually closed up a little bit there. It is not over. He is closing. I don't know if Adam's backing off or Paul is turning it up, knowing he can use these tires up and destroy them for the last half a lap here.
Well, this has been a wild race, so no surprise we're going to have a little bit more drama coming to the finish. There are a couple of slower cars in front of them as they work through traffic. Let's see.
Paul has closed, absolutely has closed. This is not over. The top liner car leading the way here, but that Pittsburgh Paints and Stains wants that P1.
And Dreesy pushing from behind.
You're right about the lap traffic here. Grant being very sportsmanlike, moving over, letting these guys battle through. Man, Adam got a good shot out of the museum corner and opened up that gap. 3 more turns to the most important lap that Adam Andretti will finish this year.
Adam through the final corner, onto the front straightaway. Here he comes, the top liner. Chevy takes the win at Barber Motorsports Park from an incredible 20-plus second gap back from Paul Menard. Andretti overcomes it all. Rain, drying track, huge gap, and he wins his first of the year here at Barber, and the crew celebrates. And how ironic it was at the beginning of the race when Ben was interviewing the crew. They had literally no idea if we should go with wets or dries, but where they are going now is victory lane.
They are driving to victory lane, and this it's so hard to put into context how much this means to Claudio Burton, Burton Racing, Damon, Adam, all the people at Top Liner and Service Partners. This is a big race. This winning at Barber, this is practically home for them. They're just down the road or up the road in Georgia here, just north of Atlanta. A big day for Andretti, and he keeps the championship hopes alive heading to the season finale at COTA in just 2 weeks.
And what I also know for Adam, knowing him very well, is how thrilled he will be to put the Andretti name back in the winner's circle of any circuit anywhere in the world. That means so much to him to carry on the family legacy and to make the family proud, and he's doing that here today. And I brought up the gap and how big of a fact that was that he overcame that 20-plus seconds. In the history of Trans Am, it's widely thought that Parnelli Jones in 1970 at Riverside made the biggest comeback. He got knocked off course by another car, started 8th or 9th, got past his teammate, won the race, the championship for Ford, but don't know exactly how many seconds down he was. But PJ doing one of his heroic drives back in the day, and Adam now doing it here today and winning by over a second over Paul Menard when he was 20-plus seconds down. I mean, that was just a phenomenal drive.
Absolute highlight reel for Adam Andretti, and a huge shout-out to our fourth-place qualifier, our third-place finisher, David Pentarek, putting in an amazing drive here. Obviously, also a season highlight for him. Amy Ruman coming home fourth in the Trans Am class. Chris Dyson coming home fifth. Congrats, huge congrats to Eric Foss, and only his second TA start this year, taking the SGT win. Jake Latham in the 27 winning GT. Really good start and good finish for our guys there. Really strong. Chris Coffey obviously having troubles this weekend, but a teammate bringing it home. Great job on that side here. Eric Joyner obviously was super strong here, winning XGT. Oh, and I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I got that wrong after the pit stop. It was Vlastowski that was able to come through and win the first race for the Howe HR6. That Charlie Penn there, congrats to them. Adrian gets a Trans Am win, top of the podium there in the GT class for Vlastowski, in 8th overall.
And now he's got a 2.5-hour break before he comes back out in our Cube 3 Architecture TA2 category. He might have a huge day here.
Don't drink any of that champagne, Adrian. You got a race to run in just a short little bit here. Adam Andretti, we're trying to signal him. We've got an amazing podium here at Barber Motorsports Park, and we're trying to get Adam just placed right underneath our Cube 3 Pirelli Trans Am banners over here. Our Jim Weed Winner's Circle set to hand out some drinks. I'm sure these guys, this is a tough one. These drivers have had a tough go at it, a lot of stress. You're squeezing the wheel a lot harder than normal here as you're flying around and sliding in these races here when it's wet and you're on slicks, or dry and you're on wets.
This is about to be a wild celebration, I promise you. Here he comes out of the car. Look at the excitement level, the adrenaline still raging through him. Adam with a huge win here, keeping the championship alive. We're trying to do some math here to see if we can get the exact number. Here comes Tabitha to hug her husband. Congratulations.
He was thinking of jumping off and letting her catch him, but I think he thought wiser.
Trying to kiss her through the helmet there.
Very happy Burton Racing crew. Tabitha, David right there you see in the background. That's the engineering mind on that side.
Be careful, David. He might try to kiss you, too.
Yep. Claudio celebrating We don't see him in picture yet, but a well-deserved win. I mean, this is honestly, this is as much relief as it is pure joy.
Hugely.
You know, you own, as a driver, your only relevance in the back of your head is, can I win races for my team? And regardless, and so as much as it is pure joy to win something like this at a race like this in conditions like this, it's also in the back of your mind like, whew, maybe I got a job next year.
And he was so close at numerous events this year, right? Watkins Glen and so forth. Let's go down to Ben, capture the moment.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, here, let's get you guys both to just turn around. I don't know if I've ever been more excited. Hold on, stay here, both of you, because that was unbelievable. First, I'm going to go to Adam, though, because Adam, unbelievable. What a great race with both of you guys to race cleanly like that. I know you're running for a championship, but this race has to feel good. Tell us about this race.
Oh, this is amazing, Ben. I mean, this is a win that myself and this team needed about 5 races ago, but obviously better late than never. And my uncle always tells me, like, our family's kind of late bloomers, so maybe we had a late blooming season, but we're catching momentum to take into 2026, I feel. 2 in a row for Trans Am to come from the back to win races. What an exciting time to be a Trans Am fan. Thank you to all the fans that are here, all the fans that tuned in, everybody that supports us. Burton Racing is an amazing group to work with. Top liner, and then we have service partners.
You earned it. Great job.
That's from the most winning Trans Am driver ever, Paul Gentilozzi. That's got to feel good.
Always. You know, it's just you earn these accolades in Trans Am. They're not given to anybody. And Paul and I, to race that clean at the end on worn-out rain tires that are hot and slick and gooey and not make contact with each other, and that just shows a great deal of professionalism and respect that carries off in this series as well. But again, thank you to all our partners, Top Liner service partners, which are here visiting us today, Rig RX, all of our team, the families from the team. You know, this is kind of a second home race. Last time they were all at a race, you know, when one rode Atlanta, so we've got to put that in the budget, that they come to every one of them from now on. Would be probably a pretty good thing. But dear friends of mine from Tennessee, friends from all over have come to support us, and these fans. And Bell Helmets, Hinchman Racing Suits gave me a beautiful new suit. Nancy always says she makes good luck suits. If you wear it for the first time, you're going to win. Nancy, we did Hinchman proud. So thank you to everyone, Trans Am, the series, Pirelli tires. I mean, I can't say enough. 100 miles and I still have tread left. Go get yourself some P0s.
Adam Andretti, ladies and gentlemen, but Paul Menard finished P2, but a great championship day. But I got to ask you, we were talking about this in the booth. With your racing, how'd you get so good in the rain? You're so good in the rain.
Well, Paul Gentilozzi has a lot of laps in these cars, and John and Tony and all the guys on 3GT, so they coached me through it. My first rain race was last year at Mid-Ohio. We've done a few practice sessions and qualifying since then, but yeah, car was just really good in the rain. I was kind of cruising. I could have pushed a little bit harder trying to save the tires for something exactly what happened at the end. And Adam, as it dried up, he just kept getting faster and faster, and we just had to stay on the same strategy as him. If I kind of wanted to put slicks on at the end, but it would have been hard to come through the field with 4 laps to go. So hats off to Claudio, Adam, all the guys, Terry. They did a hell of a job today. They beat us, and we'll go back to work, and we'll go get them in COTA. Nice.
Well, nice job. It's still a great championship day today for Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. Now we're going to run over here. Eric Joyner. Where did Eric Joyner? There's Eric Joyner giving a big hug to Adam Andretti, actually. So, Eric Joyner, man, XGT from the back to the front in XGT. And there was a while up there with Andy Lally in the booth that we were both saying, conditions stay like this, you might be the overall winner. How was your race?
There were times in the race that I wish it just stayed like that condition, and then it kept drying, and I kept talking to the crew and looking at our times. But I think in the end, there were a bunch of laps I was full lock.
Really?
I was like a drifting event because the track was so dry, and we were on our old wets. But I have to say, Pirelli does an amazing job. They put together a tire that started out great in the wet. As you saw, it was amazing in the wet, but when it dried out, still, it was amazing. It's an amazing tire. So thank you, Pirelli.
Well, good boy Bob Coffey Roasters, nice job today. Unbelievable. Eric Joyner. Where's Eric Foss in that beautiful green Corvette? Eric, here I am. I'm raising my hand. Come over here, because Unbelievable. For a long time, I mean, I haven't seen an SGT car run second overall in a long time. You had it for a while.
I mean, we have a massive advantage over these guys. We have ABS, traction control. So I made a joke this morning. I was like, I wouldn't want to be in a TA1 car. I think I could beat myself in the TA1, in the SGT car, and the TA1 car. So hats off to those guys, especially Paul at the start. I mean, he was just really on it, and I was trying to give him a little bit just for fun. But the G-Speed guys did an amazing job with this Corvette, and thanks so much for Stan Wilkinson and his wife Shelly and his son Trace for just giving me this opportunity to drive for them here. And it's a lot of fun. And thanks for Trans Am for such a great show.
Nice job, man. Congratulations. South Dallas Turf. And then where is Adrian Lostowski, our winner in GT? Adrian, I'm by the ladder. If you could see me, I'd like to talk to you, but I don't see you anywhere. So right now, wait. Here comes running. Look at this. First win for the Howe HR6. You've been on the podium with us many times in SGT. I don't remember you being on the podium and being on the top step in GT. How was your race?
Really good. We started out with dry tires to start the race. The car handled surprisingly well with dry tires. Then, obviously, when it started raining more, it was wet out there. We had a disadvantage. And then when it started drying up, the car just came to life. And, I mean, we had so much speed. I think we were faster than TA cars at one point. So, really fun car to drive, easy to drive. Just so much fun, and just so happy to get this win for the HR6. The Howe family's been working so hard with this. Rich Rinke's been working hard. We all been working so hard on this car, and it was so nice to prove it here today at Barber Motorsports Park.
And great to have you on the podium this season. Nice job. First win for the Howe HR6 in the Trans Am Series. Well, Ralph, I'm going to send it up to you in the booth, and we're going to start down here with Jim Weed Winner's Circle. Stay tuned.
That's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of celebration yet to go down there. Boy, what a race, Andy. Certainly one of the top 3 exciting races of the season.
Hands down. This could have been chaos, and these professional drivers did. We had so many close calls, so many side-by-side, like battles to the apex, and everybody gave each other room. Unbelievable drive. Amazing opening by Paul. Amazing closing by Adam Andretti.
We talk about, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. Well, tip of the hat to our friends at Pirelli, our series sponsor, because they proved with Adam, their rain tire gets you all the way to the finish. So if you need some tires, go get some P0s.
Anybody in racing that knows road racing knows that Barber is one of the hardest tracks on tires because you don't have long straightaways to cool these things down. You're constantly in long radius corners that we're looking at right here. And when you put a rain tire on a drying track, or this is 90% dry here, that really abuses the tire. So what an amazing job by Pirelli here. Amazing job by Andretti. Everybody involved here. Such a cool event. I can't wait to get down to Victory Lane and congratulate all of our winners. Every single one of them down there did an amazing job.
Okay, so I've been asking for the points, and our Jessica Trippi, who is in charge of public relations, the Trans Am Series by Pirelli, tells me it is now down to 43 between Adam and Paul heading to COTA.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance.
All right.
There is a chance.
I love it.
He chipped away at it a little bit. 3 points are great. The win is bigger, I think, going into the deal at COTA. We're going to be here with you all day long from Barber Motorsports Park. All kinds of racing yet to go here today on Speed Sport 1. So stay with us. We're taking a quick break. We'll be right back for more. We are back here at Barber Motorsports Park. You see the celebration getting ready to get back underway down there at the Jim Weed Winter Circle. So let's go ahead and head down to Ben Sissel to kick things off. Take it away, Ben.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on now, let's get loud. Birmingham, Alabama, the Barber Motorsports Park. Unbelievable. Man, I love this. We've got to keep coming back to Alabama. The stars fell on Alabama here this weekend. Unbelievable. Love coming here. This is a beautiful facility. Obviously a great crowd that just got to witness one of the best Trans Am races I've ever seen. The Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. We are going to start with the GT class. Now, the louder you get, the more hats, the more freebies we're going to throw out to everybody, all right? So stay loud, keep this energy. This is this driver's first time in the series, and he's on the podium in a beautiful Maserati. Let's hear it. Jake Latham, second place in GT. Where are you from, Jake? Nice, nice. All right, so you come on up here, and I'll talk to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Adrian Lofstowski's first GT start. He was our SGT competitor many times, many years ago. He's going to be out later in the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 series. But Hal made a new car called the HR6. This is the first win for the HR6 in the Trans Am series. Let's hear for that. First win in GT for Adrian Lostowski. Let's hear for Adrian Lostowski running with CMI. Unbelievable. Nice job, Adrian. I'm so proud of you. On the podium this season, 2025, Jake. First time in the series. You're with Chris Coffey and his crew, so great crew. Love these Maseratis. How was it for you out there?
It was absolutely amazing. And you mentioned already, I have to say such a huge thanks to Chris for trusting me with his car, Xavier and Alex. Like, I could not believe how much fun it was out there. It was wild and crazy and unbelievable fun.
What do you think your ratio is on a rain like this, that you're looking out the windshield or you're looking in your mirrors?
This time I have to say it was mostly out the windshield. I was just looking for any kind of anything in the mirrors when I did, but mostly I was just trying to get as much of a lead as I could on Adrian. He was putting on a car control clinic on his slicks, and I just wanted to put as big a gap as I could.
Nice job. How about that? Come on now, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Latham, first time, gets on the podium. Adrian Lostowski, I've got two mics, so I can't give you the mic, but tell us about your race on this beautiful new HR6.
Just wanted to thank the team. The team did a great job setting that car up. Everybody back at the shop, Dick, Charlie, Chaz. The How HR6, just an amazing car to drive. Really nimble, really quick, really affordable. Just, I cannot believe how fast it goes for the price. It's such a great car. A lot of people have been asking about it this weekend. I think there's a lot of interest sparking in those. It's just such a great car. I think it's just a blast to drive. And my race was definitely the beginning with slicks on in the rain, really hard to drive. Slipping and sliding all over the place, but once it became dry, that's when we took it all back over.
Nice job. How about that? Adrian Lostowski. All right, gentlemen, hold those trophies up. Chris Coffey, I haven't heard you yet. Where's that yell, Chris Coffey? There we go. There's Nature Boy back there. Jake Latham. Let's hear for him, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Latham, Adrian Lostowski in GT. Michelle's bringing it. Now, you guys can throw those Sunoco hats to the crowd. You can keep them whatever you want, but throw them to loud people. Oh, man, she almost got it. Nice. He's got it. Very nice. All right. Now, hold. Boop. Oh, nice. I've never seen that before, Adrian. Come on now. Let's get louder. Jake Latham, Adrian Lostowski in GT here at Barber Motorsports Park, making history because the Trans Am Series has never been here before. So these two first in GT on the podium. Now they've got champagne, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, if you don't want to spray, because you're in a race here in a couple hours. Yeah. So Jake, you can go take that, celebrate with your team. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? And Adrian's going to be out in the number 3 car in just a few hours. Number 3 with CMI on it, so root for him there. All right, Alabama. These guys might be a little bit sore. Thanks, Jake, because they're huge Tennessee Volunteers fans, as am I. Sorry, that was a great game last night, but Alabama did win. So be nice to these guys, all right? Be nice to these guys because they're a little bit heart hurt. Third place, celebrating his birthday, That'll give you something to cheer for. Let's hear it for Milton Grant. Come on now. 51 years racing, ladies and gentlemen. You know you're living right if you can be doing this for 51 years. In second place in Super GT, his son from Memphis, Tennessee. Let's hear it for Cary Grant. Now, guys, I saw something I haven't seen before with this guy. Running second place overall for a long stretch in this TA race in an SGT car in that beautiful green Kiss My Grass Racing Corvette. Let's hear it for Eric Foss, ladies and gentlemen. South Dallas Turf. Well, Milton, happy birthday. We couldn't get that Tennessee win yesterday, but you're up here on the podium. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it did, and I wish the sun had come out a little earlier. But it was a great day. So.
Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, well, my wife for putting up with me for all these years, of course, and my crew did a great job. They changed our tires on the false, on the piss lap, so on the pace lap. So that was good. They did a great job to get us out there. So
nice. Yeah. Good hustle. How about that, Milton Grant, ladies and gentlemen? It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Milton. But your son didn't give you a birthday present because he bested you over here in second. Still kind of a hint of the Tennessee orange like all the Grants do. Tell us about your race because it was a crazy one out there.
Yep. Yeah, we had to change I changed to rain tires on the pit lane right before the start. Crew did an awesome job. I pulled up right when they threw the green flag, so it worked out good for me. I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for all he does for us. And just really, really great weekend. Thanks for Trans Am. Hi to my family at home, and thanks again to my crew. And had a great time today.
Nice. How about that, Cary Grant? And then Foss, unbelievable start. We really saw something from you today. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, I mean, first off, hats off to the G-Speed crew. We made the last-second call on the grid. I think we got the car down on the ground with like 5 seconds before the cutoff there and went to the wets. I mean, yeah, I can't say enough about the South Dallas Turf and the opportunity to be here. Obviously, like I said, we have analog brakes and traction control on our cars, so it makes it a lot easier than dealing with 900 horsepower. I'm so impressed with how well those guys did in the TA1 cars out there. And but yeah, what a pleasure to be here. It was a lot of fun, and thanks for everyone for being here.
Nice. How about that? All right, Alabama, give some love. Milton Grant on his birthday. Cary Grant. Eric Foss, Super GT. Man, keep up this energy, Alabama. I'm loving this. Nice job. We've got to come to Alabama more often. Yeah. We do have some people that came from our show at Road Atlanta. We appreciate that. I love that. Thank you guys so much. But, man, Barber, this is a fantastic facility you guys have here in your backyard. So let's get loud for Barber Motorsports Park. Milton Grant, Cary Grant, Eric Foss. Nice job. I've been involved in Trans Am for 12 years, and this is one of my favorite races. That was a crazy race. You guys can, all right, so get loud. They're spraying some champagne at you. Whew. Nice job, Alabama. Keep it up. I love you guys. I'm now going to smell like alcohol on my drive home. I hope I don't get pulled over. Extreme GT. This is her dog right here, you guys. You got to wave to her dog. It's a beautiful dog. It was on the stage with us at Road America. Taking that green flag, she clinched the championship. How about that? She won the championship last year in SGT. She moved up to Extreme GT. From Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, let's hear for Kaylee Bryson, ladies and gentlemen. Hey. Extreme GT, we started out at the grid. I was at the grid with two of these beautiful Mercedes. Danny, you just like looked at the conditions and like, what happened there? Yeah, good move. But in second place in that beautiful Bridge Hall Mercedes. Let's hear it for Billy Griffin, ladies and gentlemen. He is a two-time GT Trans Am champion, so moved up to the XGT class. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the good boy Bob's Coffee Roasters Porsche. Oh, ma'am, you don't have to move out of the way. You're fine. With Tool back there, that beautiful Patrick Long Porsche. It started at the back of the grid, but the rain started while we were at grid. His crew was cheering because these Porsches love the rain. He came back. I think he finished like 4th or 5th, something like that overall. Let's hear it for Eric Joyner, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. He's only gotten to come with us twice this year. He was filming that Brad Pitt F1 movie that everybody loves, so we appreciate that, and providing coffee for the paddock. But Kaylee, our champion again, and a crazy race out there. How was it for you?
That was a lot of fun, and I was actually really nervous that it was going to rain, so we went out on rain tires, and I was so glad that we did, because the first couple laps we were passing TA cars and felt like Superwoman out there, so that was really fun, and my team did a great job on the car. Unfortunately, we lost oil pressure there at the end of the race, but we had a good run going for a really long time, and can't thank LSI Logical Systems for all their support all year long, and glad we could clinch the championship for them.
Now, Kaylee, as somebody that has won everything you can possibly win on the dirt, I wouldn't think you'd be super concerned about the track conditions, but it's totally different in these beasts, isn't it?
It is. I had to go a little bit back to my dirt roots, and I was a little bit sideways and just tried to think back to dirt and stand on the gas a little bit and just go for it.
Nice. How about that? Kaylee Bryson clinching a championship here, just watching more and more history here, Alabama. Billy, when did Danny say, you know what, I'm out, and you still said, I'm going?
On the grid.
Really?
Yeah, he decided that he wanted to stay in, so I'm like, all right, I'm going, I'll see you later. So.
Well, tell us about your race and then thank anybody you want to thank.
Yeah, the race was good, but I went out on slicks and it took too long for it to dry up, so I was getting hammered out there, sliding all over the place, and by the time it came in, it was just a little bit too late. So, but I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. The restart was really super exciting. It was great racing. We were inches from each other, and everybody did a fantastic job. I'm really impressed. I'd like to thank my racing family and Danny, Lowry, Bridget, Benahall, and that's it. Thank you very much. Great weekend.
Nice. How about that? Billy Griffin. There you go. And now, Eric Joyner, if you could take both mics, tell us about your race. But so happy to have you back. We saw you at Lime Rock, and I know you got a crazy schedule, but this is one of those bucket list tracks, isn't it? Everybody needs to know everybody in the world wants to race here. So he came, made it happen. Take the mic.
2 mics. So first of all, thanks for everyone to come out and support us. The track and the facility is beautiful. I've never raced here. I spent some time in a simulator. Maybe 4 hours before we came out here. The track is amazing and beautiful. You know, the fans that came out and the weather turned out nice. It was a heck of a race. I have to say these two were amazing. We were on totally different strategies. And in the end, because I did choose reins, we had our hands full. I said I felt like I was in a drifting event at the end of the race, and I kept asking, how far ahead are we, you know, throughout the race. I would also like to thank my crew that supports me. We had a little incident on Saturday. They put the car back together. That was great. My family. And then I would also like to give a special thanks out to Sunoco, you know, for supporting our series with great racing fuels, and also Pirelli. You know, they gave us tires this weekend, and this applies, most of my street cars I use Pirellis. But I went out on a rain tire. It was wet. We were talking about that. And it was amazing in the rain. And going by TA1 cars was amazing. But then when it dried out for the last 45 minutes or so, the wet tire held up. And I think it's a true testament to Pirelli.
Eric Joyner, how about that? All right, come on now. Hold up those trophies. I'm sure you had Pirellis on when you were filming the F1 race, too, on your movie cars. Come on now, let's get loud. Our new champion, Kaylee Bryson, Billy Griffin, Eric Joyner. Eric, thank you so much for providing coffee for everybody in the paddock. They loved it. My wife said best coffee she's ever had, so she loves that. You guys can throw those Sunoco hats out if you want. And Kaylee, what's your dog's name?
Izzy. Izzy. Yeah.
Nice, I love it. Oh, she heard us. Hey there. I love waving at dogs. There we go. Here's a hat for you. All right, now Eric Joyner's about to throw a hat out there for you. If anybody wants one, you can come get it. It's all right. You can come get it. Anybody? All right, come on now. Let's get loud. Kaylee Bryson, Billy Griffin, Eric Joyner, Extreme GT. First time making history here at Barber Motorsports Park. I'm loving this crowd. Keep it up. This is a great crowd. We need to come here more often. All right, let's see what they do. Come on now, Alabama. Get loud. Billy uses his knee. Unbelievable. Nice job. Well, Kaylee, another championship. I don't know what you're going to do. Are you just going to try to win everything? Is that what you're doing? That's the goal right now. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the best TA races I've ever seen. These 900 horsepower plus behemoth monsters in third place. He was on the podium with us at Road Atlanta, but that was the last time you guys were there. Let's hear it for David Pinterick with Kreider Racing. Bird's Eye View Foundation. I love it. Andy Lally, our president out here. Andy, you've watched a lot of TA races, as have I. You were in the booth. That was so much fun.
That was intense. The Trans Am class needed that. Absolute awesome battle between Adam and Paul there. Congrats to David here. I was in the booth going crazy. Anytime you get one of these half dry, half wet races, it can completely turn to chaos. And for these guys to be as professional, as fast, and put on such a good race was just a testament to the depth of talent that we've got in the Trans Am series.
I love it. I love it. How about that? Andy Lally, ladies and gentlemen, a legend up here. Speaking of legends, in second place, our current points leader for the championship. But now, if we do the math provisionally, there's only a 43-point spread going into the last round at COTA in 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, racing with Pittsburgh Paints and Stains with 3GT. Let's hear it for Paul Menard, last year's TA champion. Great championship day for Paul Menard. And then in first place, chasing this man right here for his first championship in TA with service partners, top liner Chevy Camaro. The shop is just down the road near Atlanta, Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear for Adam Andretti. How cool is that to have all these motorsports legends out here, ladies and gentlemen? Pinterick, man, you have been putting in the work this season. You know, we're Facebook friends. We talk to each other through the season. You're working hard, and now the fruits are paying off. How you feeling?
It's surreal to be up here with Adam and Paul. It's a lot of fun. This is why we do it. It's very, very fun.
Tell us about Bird's Eye View.
So Bird's Eye View is a 501c charity. It raises funds for retired Navy SEALs and Army Green Beret. I've got a bunch of those friends, and so I've decided to pledge $10 for every mile of Trans Am race that I finish. So I now got a $1,000 bill that I've got to pay to. Although they're going to come and beat me up, and they won't beat me up, but I'm thrilled to do it. We're trying to raise awareness to keep those guys from going off the deep end, because the transition to civilian life is not always easy, and they're a precious resource for this country, and we got to protect them. They've done things for us. We got to do things for them.
Nice, I love it. And got a special announcement. I just got the thumbs up from Lee. Lee heard Andy announce that in the booth and said, "Hey, the Trans Am Series, you get on the podium. We would like to match that as well." So we're coming with a match for that. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? So nice job. I love it. We've got to support our troops.
I hope I spend a lot of your money.
He says he hopes to spend a lot of our money. Yeah. Keep racing with us. Paul Menard, great championship day. I know you'd want to be on the top step, but, you know, when you're running for a championship, sometimes you got to take what's given.
Yeah, I mean, a good day. We had good pace all weekend. Beautiful facility, man. I've never been here before. And, you know, I did a little bit of iRacing stuff just to try to familiarize myself with the track, but it's so, everything comes at you so close. It's with these big heavy cars, you're out of one corner, you're right in the next corner, so it's really hard to find your rhythm. But I felt really confident in the car coming in. You know, the guys did an amazing job all weekend long. We had them covered in the rain, and then just started drying out, and Adam just had more pace than us. And congratulations to those guys. And I don't think the points hurt us a whole lot today, so we go on to COTA and try to capitalize.
How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Menard. And it was really cool because I was down here when Adam pulled in. Paul was the first one to come over and congratulate him. And then his team owner, Paul Gentilozzi, comes over because it was such a great race. And one of the most dangerous things to do in motorsports is give Adam Andretti the mic. So, Adam, take it away.
Am I taking these? Yeah. You're going to work? Yeah, I guess I'm working. But, no, thank you, Ben. But, yeah, it was an amazing day here at Barber Motorsports Park. As Paul said, a beautiful facility, and I've been watching races here for a lot of years with IndyCar, and to get to come and apply my craft and to go out here and race and execute here to be inaugural winners in the Trans Am Series at this beautiful facility. I mean, it's hard to put into words, but I can't thank Burton Racing enough. This group is an amazing group to work with. There's so much fun. We enjoy each other's company. We laugh, we joke, we have a good time, and when it's time, we put our heads down and we get the job done. And to bring this thing from the tail of the field, we had to make a last-minute decision to put on wets, which ended up being the right call. And again, we make these calls as a group. And our leader Claudio is just such a sound leader, such a great sounding board over the radio, and just gives us the full support and everything we needed to go out here and execute. And Top Liner and service partners, can't thank you enough for what you all do. You're putting out the best products on the planet, Rig RX. We love this partnership and look forward to where it's going to head in the future, and it's super exciting times for us. And again, Bell helmets, Hinchman Racing uniforms, they've been so good to me over the years and keeping me protected, and all our family and friends that showed up that made the trip down here to be a part of this. I can't thank you enough again. This has been just such a special day, and to race a guy like Paul Menard, someone I've looked up to for a long time. His career's an amazing career. It's a storied career, and to race side by side, clean, hard, and we're the same age. I mean, we just got done talking. I said, I think we have more in common than actually we give each other credit for, because we haven't spent a lot of time together because we're fierce competitors. But nonetheless, we keep this championship alive. We'll go to Coda and see if we can't push this thing and to the very end and see how that goes. But congrats to these guys. It's been an awesome fight all year long, and we're building momentum, and it looks like 2026 is going to be another epic year for Trans Am. So looking forward to that. But thanks to all you fans that came out here to support us at this wonderful facility. I see you on the hill over there as well. You're all looking good. Thank you again, and we really, really appreciate it.
All right, Birmingham, keep up this energy. And after this celebration, make sure to come down here to pit lane for our F4 fan walk. But come on, let's hear it. David Pinterick with Bird's Eye View Foundation. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains with Paul Menard. And service partners, Top Liner Adam Andretti, making history here in Alabama at Barber Motorsports Park. And then if you guys want to throw those hats to the loudest people you can. It's windy, though. It's tough. Yeah, come and get them. Oh, that's a boomerang. Hitting the Emco Gears truck. All right, Alabama, just a few more chances. Let's get loud. David Pinterick, Paul Menard, Adam Andretti up here on the podium. The Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli for the first time at Barber Motorsports Park. And as you can hear, all the drivers absolutely love this facility. Champagne. Come up here to Eric. There's some free Jim Weed energy drinks up here, and they're spraying the champagne, ladies and gentlemen. Get loud, trying to hit the crowd. And then Paul Menard is our Emco lap leader as we get a picture there. But ladies and gentlemen, I got to send it off to a break. Thank you guys so much. Come down to the F4 fan walk. Hey, that's one of the best.
Yes. Hon, the WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser-measured floor liners, no-drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street-legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Back here at Barber Motorsports Park, and look at that, blue skies popping through here. It's unbelievable. What a weather day we have had here so far, just outside of Birmingham, Alabama. Ralph Sheheen with you, and joining me in the booth, the champ, Cooper Shipman, is here. The F4 champion for 2025. Congratulations, Cooper. Now you're big time.